Sébastien Lecornu has been sworn in as France's new Prime Minister. These are the pictures of Mr. Lecornu at the official handover ceremony with his predecessor François Bayrou, who resigned yesterday on Tuesday after losing a vote of confidence. Mr. Lecornu becomes France's fifth Prime Minister in less than 2 years. All of this comes as police in Paris used tear gas during protests, which are part of a nationwide day of action against government policies. Demonstrators say they're angry at leadership in France and austerity policies. Well, let's go straight to Paris and join my colleague Mark Lowen, who's been following developments there. Mark, just bring us up to date on what's been happening where you are.
Yeah, Regina, we were outside the Gare du Nord, the station which connects France with other neighbours next door this morning, and that's where there was tear gas used as about 1,000 protesters tried to get inside the railway station. Now the protest movement has moved here to the centre of Paris, to Place du Châtelet. It is part of a day of civil disobedience and social unrest under the banner Bloquons Tout, let's block everything. We've seen high schools and highways and some roads and bridges and train stations blocked in different cities across the country. Almost 300 arrests made by police. People extremely angry at what they see as social and economic inequality, but also that anger fueled by the appointment of Sébastien Lecornu as Prime Minister announced last night, and he's now taken office. He is from President Macron's centrist camp. That despite the fact that the left wing came first in elections 14 months ago, and the left says it is time for them to govern. They're extremely angry at President Macron. They want him to resign. Let's bring in a couple of protesters who are here with me in the centre of Paris. Marion and Jacques, thanks for joining us, both of you. Just explain why you're here today.
Today we're here because French people do not agree with budget, that is the provisional budget for 2006.
You don't agree with the budget cuts that the government is trying to put through, the austerity measures, the cuts in budget?
That's it. We think we can do a better budget that is really good for people.
But Jacques, France's budget deficit is almost double the limit imposed by the European Union. It is spending more on interest payments on its debt than it does on education and defence. So isn't it time for France to tighten its belt and live within its means?
I don't think it, back because you have a state's debt, but the state's debt is already paid each year by the, I don't know how to say it in English, but money we borrow to the bank, so we only pay the interest of the bank. And you talk about European Union regulations. It's something we can change, and we can also imagine other ways to reduce the deficits by creating more taxes for the high revenue, for reducing the help to the companies without any proof of efficiency on the economy. We have 200 billions of aids given to the company without any proof.
What do you want to change in France? What is the priority for you?
A lot of things. In fact, we are here for the budgets, but it's a long situation. It's now for many years, maybe 10 or 15 years, we are all doing the same policy. We want less austerity, more money,
more public power.
Services. But just to give you a concrete example, in our institute, we work in the National Cartographic Institute. We have all this discourse about empowering the institute to face global warming consequences, etc. And we are facing a reduction of 30% of our personnel during the next 5 years. So.
What do you think of the new Prime Minister, the fact that the President has chosen a centrist, one of his own group, as his seventh Prime Minister now?
It's just continuity. It proves that things won't change with this president. I don't really personally know the new Prime Ministry, but it's not a problem of person. It's really a problem of project.
But Jacques, isn't it time for a stability? I mean, the party that many of you support, that France Unbowed, says that it will vote down whichever government comes in, which is not part of the left. I mean, France could be here time and time again with governments falling at a time when France is very unstable and the world needs a stable France.
But you're right, stability is important. But for me, from myself, I would prefer to stay on my sofa instead of working here. But stability will not come with voting the next austerity budget of Macron. We need Macron to have stability. In fact, he's the origin of the most instability in the country right now. And you say, I just had something about our new Prime Minister, you describe it as centrist. We can argue about that. In fact, we have proof from a newspaper, Mediapart, that he's doing a private dinner with the far-right leaders. So.
And are you calling for Macron to resign, Marion?
Sure, we do for a long time now, but it won't be enough. We all French citizens and workers have to show that we don't want anymore all these years of politics.
Okay. Marion and Jacques, thanks very much indeed. President Macron says, of course, that he will stay out the rest of his term until 2027. He says that there is no way for him to resign and that he will stay in place. But the overwhelming majority of the French people now place the blame very much for France's polarization, its political paralysis, and its rising social discontent very much at his door. We'll continue to watch the protests unfold here in France as the new Prime Minister takes office, the third one in the space of 9 months. Regina, back to you.
Mark Lowen in Paris, for the moment, thank you very much.